Ba 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 ba.
Oh. Is it shooting? Is it filming?
I don't know. I can only see the back of it.
Oh.
Welcome back to the Homemade Show.
Welcome back to the Homemade Show. What's our topic this time?
Video games.
Video
And
games.
Our first major systems that we remember getting.
First major system. And?
And how we got into gaming and stuff. I guess.
Well, I am so old that I played Pong.
Not old at all. Pong is the best.
Have you played it?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through all the systems that I had real quick, okay? I remember playing Pong with that whole.
What system was that on?
That's
or
what
is that the system?
that was the system. The whole thing was about this big. It had two little dials,
It was
and it
called
just
Pong.
just went on the screen. Yeah. So there was Pong. I remember Pong. I never had ColecoVision, but I had Intellivision. Actually, I did kind of have a ColecoVision. I had an Atom computer, and it had a built-in ColecoVision.
Built in.
Yeah, it's like a word processor computer that had a base, a screen, and a printer, and that's all it was for, was like word processing. But it had a Coleco built into it, and you could play it on a controller. So I did have a ColecoVision that way.
That's scrub.
It is. I had Intellivision, and then after Intellivision, I had Nintendo Entertainment System.
What about an Atari 5200?
Oh yeah, I had Atari too. That's right, Atari would have been in the same range. I had an Atari, had Intellivision, had Nintendo, had Super Nintendo, had TurboGrafx 16, had N64, had PlayStation 2, and now I have Xbox 360.
You missed one.
Which one? Oh, Genesis.
Did you say Sega Genesis?
I didn't say Sega Genesis. I had a Sega Genesis too.
Did you ever have a Sega Saturn?
No. I just had Sega Genesis, and I never had like Sega CD or anything like that. Oh, I did have. I had a GameCube, but not for very long, and I don't think I had any decent games on it. I'm pretty sure I had a GameCube for just like a really short period of time. Oh, I also had a Game Boy and PSP.
Handhelds?
Yeah, I had a Game Boy, had a PSP, but only the original Game Boy. And
So,
now I have an iPhone and an iPad, so those are gaming systems too. What?
So do you still have those systems?
No, they're all gone. So the story that I was going to share was that the way I got Super Nintendo, and right before I started the video, I almost said it to you, but Super Nintendo was not available in Canada when I got it. I had to order it from the States. So the way that I got it was I found there was a video game magazine with a place called like Video Game Land or something in Minnesota. I don't remember the exact name of it, but that's where I found it. And they had like it was like a mail order GameStop almost, where you could mail in your games to like trade them in, and they'd mail you money or they'd mail you other games. So they gave you the value of the games in the magazine. And if you could calculate, I'm sending this much value, so I want this much value back in these certain games, then they would send you back what you wanted. So I saw Super Nintendo there, and I had to get the Super Nintendo console and then add on Super Mario World. I don't think it was with it.
Did that come with it?
It's supposed to, but the way that this was made, it was you could get the console, but then you had to add the game on. So I had to add the game onto it. So I got the money. I don't remember how I got the money. Probably my mom gave it to me, and I ordered it, and I had to wait for it to come in the shipment, and then it finally arrived at the house, and I got Super Nintendo. And that's the way I had to get it. I had to order it from the States, then ship to Canada because it wasn't available in Canada yet.
What year was that?
Oh, I don't know, like No, not that far. Like 88 or 89. I don't remember what year Super Nintendo came out, but it would have been like
Nintendo came out in like 91 or 90.
no, that can't be right. Oh wait, I was in high school. Yeah, so that is right. 91, 92, somewhere in there. That's right.
Somewhere in the early 90s.
Yeah, it would be 91 or 92 because I graduated high school in 93 and I was in high school when I ordered it. Or just about in high school when I ordered it.
So what game, you had Super Mario World.
Yeah.
What games stand out to you the most? Like you remember playing?
From
and
Super
having
Nintendo?
Yeah.
It's Super Mario World, F-Zero, Star Fox, and then like Royal Rumble, WWF Royal Rumble, WWF Raw,
Vegas Stakes.
Vegas Stakes, NHL, NHL 93, 94, those types of games.
You ever have SimCity?
Yeah, SimCity I played a lot at the time.
Or The Sims or whatever they're called?
No, I never did The Sims, but SimCity I played a lot at the time. Yeah, I think
The game kind of looks stupid.
it's fun. It was fun. I can't play it now, but it was fun at the time.
What about games you remember beating on the Super Nintendo, like that you were proud of that still stand out?
I don't think I beat any on the Super Nintendo.
You didn't?
I got really close to the end of Star Fox, but I did not win it. I didn't beat it. Oh, I beat Super Mario World.
Oh, there you go.
I did beat that one. I was gonna say Super Mario 3, and then I went, no, wait, that's not on Super Nintendo.
That's an original Nintendo.
Right. But yeah, I did beat Super Mario World. What about you?
Well, how much time is left?
We got enough. Yeah, we got enough. Go.
Fine. Okay.
Fine. Like I took up the whole show.
So,
Oh, we're out of time.
I was gonna talk about. I was gonna talk about PS1, but maybe we'll save that for another time because I want to talk about the PS2 actually.
Go for it.
Well, can I say what systems I had also?
Yeah, run through them.
Okay, so I had original Game Boy, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Advance SP, and then I had PS1, PS2, GameCube, and then later on I got a Nintendo and a Super Nintendo and a Genesis and all those old systems. And I still have the SP, and I got not recently, but I got the DS Lite.
Nintendo DS.
And then you gave me a PSP once.
Oh, did I? That's where it went?
Yeah.
Ha!
So I had those. And, yeah. For me, probably the system that stands out the most is PS2.
PS2.
And, yeah, PS2.
Okay.
The way I got it was, we were still in Winnipeg in 2005. This was before we moved to Thunder Bay. And, I remember I was at a friend's house and he was playing GameCube. And he was playing the game Catwoman, and I remember watching it and saying to myself, you know what, I think it's time I get a new system. So I went home, and it was close to my birthday, so I said to my mom, I'm like, can you get me a GameCube? And then she said something like, I'll see. And then a couple days later, she asked me, she's like, do you want a GameCube or a PS2? And I didn't know I had the option to choose, and I was just like, PS2.
Oh, obviously.
Because I was like, I can watch DVDs on it, so I'm like, okay, I'll get that. Mm-hmm. And then we ended up leaving Winnipeg and going to Thunder Bay. And then I thought to myself at the time, well, there goes the PS2. I didn't think I was going to get it because of the whole situation that was happening.
Yeah.
And then, like, a couple days later, or like a week later, we went to Big Ed's pawn shop, and she bought me the PS2. The first game I remember getting was Batman Vengeance.
Batman Vengeance? I've never seen that one.
Batman Vengeance. And I didn't really understand how to play games. Well, I did, but I didn't, like, I didn't have, like, enough knowledge to, like, actually beat one until I got older.
Yeah.
I would play it a little bit, and, like, other games I had was, like, SmackDown vs. Raw, the first one, SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, 2007, and I had like Crash Nitro Kart, Justice League Heroes, Crash Twinsanity.
Here Comes the Pain.
I didn't have Here Comes the Pain. That was yours.
Oh. Okay.
I think later on I got Sly Cooper too. I think. Or
Yes.
one of the Sly Coopers.
Sly Cooper was fun, the first one.
Yeah, and then I was happy too because I had PS1 games that I still could play on the PS2.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to think of other games I had for the PS2. Can't really remember.
You didn't have a Super Nintendo?
What?
You didn't have a Super Nintendo until you got this FC Twin?
I didn't know. I did have a Super Nintendo back. I can't remember when I got it.
Oh.
But I got one after.
After the hype was all done?
Yeah.
And
Like
everybody
way later.
everybody had moved on to like PlayStation 1 by then.
No, everybody had moved on. Well, yeah. They had moved on to PS1. I think, like, I didn't have a next-gen console at that time, because PS2 was still pretty big when I got the Super Nintendo.
Oh, I had a Wii also.
Yeah, so did we.
That's another system. You know, Nintendo's best system was the Super Nintendo.
What?
I said Nintendo's best system was the Super Nintendo.
I agree.
I mean, even they got to the Wii, and it's like Super Nintendo's still better. Like
At the time when they came out with N64, I mean, I had an N64 also. I didn't think I mentioned that. I got it later. But like I had the Super Nintendo also, and even back then and now, like I think Super Nintendo's better.
it was just fun. It's like the quality of game, I guess. All those games,
Yeah.
they're so good.
Like the perfect controller too.
Yeah,
Just in your hand.
yeah. Good controller, fun games, good characters, all that stuff. Graphics are
Full
decent.
buttons.
Yeah. Just good. Do it again, Nintendo. Stop with the other whatever.
Yeah, come up with the updated Super Nintendo where you have the system and like you turn it on and all the like maybe not all but like most of the good games are like in it.
Something,
You
yeah.
know, like one of those things.
Just do cloud games, or a store. Do a store built into it. You go in and you download the game. Forget the cartridge. Forget the CD. Just
I
do
don't
that.
think you'd be able to do that though. I think you still have to pay.
Well, yeah, you gotta pay for them, but I mean, forget the media like the CD, the disc, the cartridge, whatever. Cloud store. You go buy the game. You download it, system. Away you go. And make
That'd be
good
good.
and
They should do that.
make good Mario games. F-Zero again, Star Fox, all that stuff. There, we just saved Nintendo.
Super Mario World.
We just saved Nintendo.
You know what else is a good game?
What?
The Crash Bandicoot series.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Didn't Amy beat those games?
I think she beat the first one.
No, I think it was the second one.
Oh, then the second one. She beat one of them.
Because I remember back like all into like the games and like she had. I think she was actually trying to, or maybe she did crash to 100%.
Yeah.
I remember her giving me these papers of like stuff to do in that game. She's like, I remember asking, how do you get that red gem that's up there in the second level? And she's like, she gave me the papers like of what like everything to do, and she's like, yeah, how you get that is in there. And she said, when you get later on in the stage, you end up falling down and actually getting the gem. Remember her telling me that.
That's funny because you'd never know that until you beat the stage. You'd be sitting there going, "How do I get this gem? How do I get this gem?" And you're supposed to just go past it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she beat Crash 2 and Crash 3 100%.
Well, I know she did at least one. I don't know about the other one.
I remember that back in the days.
Okay, we're out of time on this episode.
Wow.
But we talked about a lot in a short period.
Yep. Games are a pretty good subject.
Yeah, they are. So tell us about your games, your favorite systems, the favorite games you had on the systems, and all that other stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, and share.
What he said.
What I said. And we'll see you next time on the Homemade Show.